Hey guys, and welcome to this live stream. I had some technical issues today. Oof, took me a while to show up here, but we are all good, we are all set. And today's topic is what I buy except of fruits and vegetables. So, I eat mainly fruits, leafy greens, and soft fruit vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and these things. But I also buy some other things, and I pretty much never talk about it. So I think it should be interesting for some of you. And in fact, someone asked, so if I can make a video about what I buy except fresh fruits and vegetables. And this is exactly what we are doing today. So without further ado, let's dive in. I made a list of these things I buy regularly, but they are not fresh. Okay, so I do have some items in my diet that are not fruits and not vegetables and not leafy greens. Ooh, yes. Okay, I organized it into categories. So we have spices, spicy ingredients to make salads also. Then algae products, then sweet additions, and then other sweeteners and dried fruits and nuts and seeds, and that's it. Everything else I eat is fresh. So, and keep in mind, these things, they are just a little tiny addition to my fresh fruits and vegetables. So I mainly eat fruits, like large amounts of fruits and salads. And if I add these things, we are talking about tiny amounts, okay? So it's not that I live on this stuff. I'm not recommending it that you eat a lot of dried stuff or a lot of spices and herbs and these things we're talking about in a second. The most important thing is that you eat fresh produce. First of all, fresh fruits. So eat fruits until you are satisfied, and the rest is just a little add-on, okay? So really important to understand that we should not live on these things. Okay, let's go. Spicy ingredients or spices and herbs. For example, I always use sun-dried tomatoes or dried tomatoes. Yes, unfortunately, they often come with salt, but I wash it and then I'm fine with it. I don't consume any salt other than the salt in dried tomatoes. And like I said, I wash them and then I rinse it off and it's okay for me. And if you add it to salad dressings, that's how I use it. I add it to my mango sauce. I blend mango, for example, or persimmons now in winter. And I add some dried tomatoes and it makes a really nice, creamy, fat-free salad dressing. So if these things, these dried things, we know they are not optimal, they are not fresh, they don't have water. So we should not live on these things. But if we know they help us to eat more of the good stuff, for example, if you enjoy your salad with a mango dressing with sun-dried tomatoes instead of just having a plain salad, then yes, go for it and add some dried tomatoes. They will not kill you, but they will help you to eat more fresh, healthy food. So I think it's nothing wrong with adding these things. And the first thing, like I said, is dried tomatoes. I always have dried tomatoes at home. Then I have raw olives, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and they are expensive. So raw olives are not easy to find in regular grocery stores, at least, but you can find them in organic stores, at least here in Germany. You can order them online, and if you want to order them, I recommend you order them at Jurassic Fruit, and you can also use my code LENA10 to get 10% off. But yeah, that's the two things I can think of when it comes to raw olives. So yeah, either in organic stores or online. Okay, and it's important that they don't have any salt and oil, okay? So I only buy raw olives that are just plain olives. No salt, no oil, nothing, okay? Only raw olives. And that's important because if you eat these olives, they are marinated in tons of salt and oftentimes oil, or if they're not in oil, they are in vinegar or any kind of acid, and that's not cool. We don't want to have oil in our body, okay? So that's really important. And the next thing is dried herbs. Yes, I have a bunch of dried herbs. For example, thyme, basil. Oh my God. Someone is tired. Thyme, basil, let's see, rosemary, for example, I like. What else? Oregano. I don't use oregano really often, but sometimes maybe to make a little bit of an Italian style sauce with tomatoes, but almost never. So yeah, these are the things I use. Basically only 3 dried herbs I use regularly is thyme, dill, yes, dried dill. Thyme, dill, basil, and rosemary sometimes. Yeah, but of course you can incorporate any herbs you like. But again, herbs are not a human food, so to speak. they are not really optimal for us. They are like a stimulant, and we should not overdo herbs. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's just a little tiny add-on to make your salad more interesting or your dressings more spicy. It's okay, but you should not live on these things. It's anyways not possible to live on herbs. Yeah, then I have dried onions. I like dried onions because if I eat fresh onions, honestly, I don't like the aftertaste. I have this onion flavor in my mouth for at least one day afterwards. So I don't like the flavor afterwards. I like eating raw onions. Really, I like them in my salad. Not every time, but sometimes I like raw onions in my salad. But every time afterwards, I regret it because I have this onion flavor in my mouth and I cannot get rid of it. And it's the same with garlic. So that's why I prefer dried onions. Freeze-dried onions are great. I don't have this onion flavor, which freaks me out for hours and hours afterwards, and I can enjoy still a spicy salad with onion flavor, but without the gross aftertaste, you know? So that's why when it comes to onions, I really prefer the dried ones. And I used to make dried onions myself, cut them into pieces and then marinate them in maple syrup, for example, and then just let them dry in a dehydrator for 1-2 hours, just a little bit. They don't have to be completely dry, but just to make it a little bit softer. And then add it to your salad. So good. So good. And if they are a little bit dry, then the aftertaste is also not so strong. So that's another tip right here. Yes, then spices in general, for example, garlic powder. I also use garlic powder, nutmeg, paprika powder, pepper. I almost never use pepper, honestly. But what else? Yeah, just spices in general. I don't use them really often. Yeah, sometimes it happens. The common things I use are garlic powder, onions, and these herbs I mentioned, dill, and yeah, that's it basically. Okay, then the next category is seaweed, algae products. I have spirulina all the time, but I know that spirulina also, it's not really human food. So we should be aware of the fact that spirulina is not for humans. We are not sea beings. We are just human beings. We are not growing and living in the sea. We are on the land. So spirulina is for species who are living in the sea, and we are not. So it's not optimal, but we can incorporate it because of the taste. I mainly do it for the taste. I don't do it because I think it has any benefits or I need it because of protein. No, not at all. I just eat it because I like the taste. I like the spicy umami flavor. And what I like to do is I mix the spirulina, either the powder or I have these spirulina sprinkles. A friend of mine, he has a company and he sells spirulina, and I know exactly that this is really high quality and I get it from him, so I can trust him. It's good quality, and yeah, he sells these sprinkles and I like to soak them in water and then just make a paste out of it, and then it's like a spirulina paste. And I like to spread it onto my cucumbers or use it as a dip for my salad. And that's really delicious. And that's the only reason I eat it, because it's delicious. That's it. Yes, then I have dulse flakes. I like to add some dulse into my salads. Especially my favorite salad is with cucumber noodles, tomatoes, chives, dulse, and a dressing with mango and tomato. That's really delicious to add some dulse into this mixture. It's so good. And it also gives this umami flavor and a little bit of a salty component. Really nice. Okay, then we have white or golden chlorella. I don't eat green chlorella. I don't eat green chlorella. I don't eat green chlorella because it is not so good when it comes to detoxification, because it releases toxins from your system, but it's not able to remove them. So then you can start to have a re-detoxification, so to say, and you cannot get rid of the toxins, but then they flow around in your body. And when I eat chlorella, the green one, I oftentimes get rashes and my skin is irritated, and that means that the toxins that are then free in my system cannot get out. And yeah, I don't feel my best eating green chlorella. So I only eat white and golden chlorella, because with white and golden chlorella, they removed the chlorophyll, which is responsible for detoxification. So the golden and white chlorella does nothing to your body. It is not detoxifying at all. It's just just for flavor, honestly. And it tastes like cheese, no joke. It tastes like cheese, cream cheese. And if you make a paste, again, I use the powder, mix it with water, and maybe I add some chives or some dried onions, and then it really tastes like cream cheese. Oof, it's so good. And that's the reason why I eat it, because it's good, not because of any nutritional benefits, no. Okay, then we have the nori. I honestly don't eat them as often, almost never anymore. I used to eat them quite a lot in the beginning. I liked to prepare raw vegan sushi. Then I used the nori leaves and just stuffed them with, sometimes with cauliflower rice or with any vegetables, with avocado. And then I rolled them up and just ate the nori leaves, nori rolls. But honestly, I don't need this anymore. It's too much work. I eat so simple nowadays. It's almost ridiculous and probably boring for most of you. My lunch today will be cherimoyas and then some cucumbers with maybe a spirulina dip and some leaves, you know. I don't prepare recipes anymore, like almost never. If I do, it's always for my app here, so that you guys have great recipes on hand, because in the beginning you need recipes. In the beginning I needed recipes. I made all different kinds of recipes. I made raw vegan pizza, I made raw vegan burger, I made raw vegan bread, because I needed it for the transitioning. But now that I'm doing this since almost 7 years, next spring 2026, it will be 7 years. At one point you don't need it anymore. You just don't need all these complicated recipes. You are happy with mono fruit meals and easy, simple salads, okay? So, but you still, if you're still in the beginning and you're still transitioning, you need these recipes and these ingredients I am just telling you. So nori leaves is another thing I have. Then sea spaghettis. I don't know if you're familiar with sea spaghettis. They look like regular spaghettis, just black, and you can soak them, and then it's just like a spaghetti replacement, but also not very often. Maybe once a year I have them. Again, a friend of mine gave me this whole big package of sea spaghettis, and I have it in my counter since months and I don't use it. But sometimes I think I have to use it sometime soon, because otherwise he is not happy. Okay, next thing would be salicornia. It's also a sea vegetable and it's really salty. So if you are still craving salt and have the struggle that you cannot enjoy salads without salt, try salicornia. I tell you, it's so salty. Sometimes it's almost like you eat regular salt. It's crazy. It's just a sea vegetable, and you can get it in powdered form or sprinkles, and you can sprinkle it over your salads or veggie meals, and it's really super salty. Okay, then we have the sweet additions I add. Again, products that are not fruits and not vegetables in its fresh form. This is dried, okay? Dried stuff I still use. Sometimes I use powders, fruit powders, for example, lucuma powder, blueberry powder, mango powder, banana powder, date powder. And what am I doing with these things? So, for example, date powder I can use as a sweetener to add it to dressings if I want to make a little bit of a sweeter dressing, or if I make a savory dressing, let's say with red bell peppers, tomatoes, or peas, and I add some date powder for the sweet component, because in a dressing you always want to have a sweet component, a salty component, a creamy, fatty component. You can replace the fatty component with fruits or with peas, something creamy. Then you need an acid, for example, lemon or any kind of citrus or tamarind. And if you make this concept, the dressing will always turn out good. And for this reason, I sometimes add date powder to my dressings. Then lucuma powder. Lucuma is just a fruit. You can eat it fresh, but it's not in season. It's just, I think it's in season only once a year and really short. So it's not easy to find fresh lucuma, but if you can, it's so good. Fresh lucuma, probably one of my favorite fruits ever. Oh, it tastes so good. It tastes like a sweet potato, but so much better. It's really nice. Then the lucuma powder, I use it to make a paste. Again, I just mix it with some water, and then I use it as a dip either for fruits or for my cucumbers. And then I have blueberry powder, which I almost never use. I just, again, it was a gift. I have it here, but it's almost empty and used up. And I sometimes, again, mix it as a paste and then I dunk in apples or so. It's just, yeah, nothing you need, honestly. Mango powder can be nice to add to salads or to dressings. And banana powder can be nice to make some raw vegan energy balls. For example, if you make raw vegan sweets with dates and nuts or nut butters, and then you add some banana powder, you can make some banana bread flavored energy balls or whatever. Yeah, these things can be fun, but you don't need them. Okay, then the next thing I use sometimes is coconut flour. Again, for sweets, desserts. I like coconut flour much better for date balls. For example, if I make sweets and treats with dates or with other dried fruits, and then you add some coconut flour, and then you don't need nuts. And coconut flour is really low in fat compared to nuts or seeds, or nut butters even. So if I make treats, I often use coconut flour instead of nuts, which is really great because the sweets turn out really easy to digest and it's not like heavy on the stomach if you eat them. So that's another tip. Then almond flour, the same. It's not as fatty as the whole almonds because they remove the fat. Then I have sometimes raw cacao, my own raw chocolate from my online store. You can order it online. Cocoanel.de is my online shop. And then you can find raw chocolate there, cacao butter, sweets and treats. And sometimes I have cacao beans I had once, but I don't have these things. But this would be something you can also incorporate, except of fruits and vegetables, cacao in all shapes and forms. Okay, then vanilla bean powder. Oh my God, I love vanilla. Vanilla bean powder is great to add to even to juices. Sometimes I add vanilla to my juice or cinnamon. Then I add it to the sweets and treats if I make something with dates or so. If I don't know, maybe sometimes I sprinkle it over bananas or apples. It's really nice. I like vanilla. Same with tonka bean, same with cinnamon. And then rose water is another thing you can have as a raw vegan to just have a little kick, a little something in your raw vegan desserts, or I don't know, just be creative with rose water. Maybe we could also add it to dressings to make it interesting. I don't know, never tried it yet, but maybe you can try. And then sweeteners. Yes, I use maple syrup for my salads. I know maple syrup is technically not raw, but it's from a tree. It's just the juice coming out of a tree. So for me, it's a natural product. And of course, they heat it to make it last longer. And the maple syrup is just, I don't drink it, you know. It's not like you have huge amounts. It's just a little tiny sprinkle on my salad, like one shot. That's it for my salad, because I like greens with maple syrup and lemon juice. This is the easiest dressing you can make. Just mix in your green salad maple syrup. Just a little bit of maple syrup is enough. And the juice of one lemon, and it's so tasty. You don't need to add anything else. So then I have honey, raw honey, and I always make sure it's organic. That's important. And I use honey for tea. Yes, I drink tea. I drink herbal tea. I don't drink black tea. I don't drink green tea. I only drink herbal tea. I also don't drink fruit teas. I don't like the acids. I drink peppermint tea. Pretty much only peppermint tea. Yeah, nothing else. I love peppermint tea. That's it. And I love to add some honey, yes. So I drink peppermint tea with honey. And important is that you don't add the honey right away to the cooked water, boiling water, because then it's destroyed. And honey has some great benefits if you want to support your immune system and so on. Antibacterial as well. So yeah, can be helpful also in the cold season. But if you heat it, all the benefits will die. So yeah, just keep it raw. Keep it raw because, baby, we like it raw. And yeah, I would recommend you let cool down your tea to 40 degrees and then add the honey. Another thing I sometimes use if someone is giving it to me, and I have another friend, they run another company. You know, I have many colleagues who have products on the market, and we know each other from raw food fairs and so, and they have yacon syrup. They sell yacon syrup, and sometimes they send me some products. So sometimes I have yacon syrup or yacon powder. which is also great as a sweetener. And I can also use it for my salad dressings or just add it to salads. Yeah, that's basically it. Then, let's see, the dried fruits. Dates are my favorite dried fruits. I have pretty much dates every day. Every day I go on a date. No, I have dates every day after my salad, just as a little finisher. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, never more than 5, I would say, because I cannot eat more than 5 dates. Then I'm really stuffed. So oftentimes it's only 2. I think, yeah, most days I eat 2 dates every day, sometimes 3, like I said, sometimes it can be 5. But yeah, 2 is my sweet spot, I would say. Then dried figs, I also like dried figs. You can also make dressings with dried fruits. So if you soak them first and then blend figs with some celery, it's delicious. Or blend some dates and add some spices like paprika powder, nutmeg, whatever. It's delicious as a salad dressing, I tell you. Raisins, same thing, and mulberries, I like mulberries dried. And I also use them to make some raw vegan dessert creations. Okay. Last category of the day is seeds and nuts. If I use these fatty things, I prefer seeds because nuts are even more heavy on digestion. So I really prefer seeds. Hemp seeds are my go-to. Then pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I almost never use chia seeds, but you could use them. Flax seeds, walnuts, pecans, Brazil nuts, almonds, cashews, whatever you like, okay? I don't use these things really almost never. If I eat nuts or seeds, it's either in raw vegan desserts or, in my products. But I never make dressings, for example, with nuts and seeds, because I think if you make a nut-based salad dressing, you really need quite a good amount. Because if you only just add like 3 hemp seeds to your dressing, you don't even taste it, you can leave it out. It's the same thing. But if you really want to have it creamy, you need a good amount. For example, if I want to make a creamy hemp seed dressing, of course I could stretch it with adding zucchini or celery sticks. But if I really want it creamy, I need at least 3 to 4 tablespoons of hemp seeds. And this is too much for me. I don't feel good afterwards after eating so much fat. So I prefer to keep my dressings fruity and light. This is how I feel my best. And if I want to have nuts and seeds, I eat them. I eat them without blending them, because if I have a few hemp seeds or a few pumpkin seeds, it's enough for me if I have a little tiny amount which fits into my hand, and that's enough. And if, like I said, if I do these dressings, I really need much more. And I don't like that. So I don't do nut-based dressings, but you can, of course, if you don't mind, if you feel good afterwards, just go for it. But don't overdo the nuts and seeds. Okay, so these are the things I have and I add into my diet, except of fruits and vegetables. Of course, again, I have to say it again, it's really important that you always eat fresh fruits. Always eat fruits first. And then if you still have place for these other things, if there's still room, yes, you can use these things. But if you are completely satisfied with fruits, you don't even need these things, okay? So fruit should always be number 1. Okay, so spicy ingredients, algae products, sweet additions like powders, fruit powders, coconut flour, and so on. Raw chocolate, cacao powder, vanilla, tonka bean, these things. Then sweeteners like maple syrup, honey, yacon syrup, dried fruits, and then last but not least, the seeds and nuts. Yes, guys, let me know in the comments below if I have something that I should try, which is not a fruit or a vegetable. Maybe some items you use in your raw food diet to make it more interesting or fun, I don't know. People always have crazy things I don't even know. I never heard of it. But yeah, if you are a chef in the kitchen and if you try new things, let me know what I should buy and what I should test. And then I'm happy to hear. Okay, so that's it for this live stream. It was a really quick topic. I will see you again next week, same platform here. And please, if you can, join the live streams and ask some questions, because this is the most important thing. We want to support each other. We want to have this community here. And if you ask questions, I can help you. But if you don't ask, I cannot help you, you know? Okay, that's it for this video. See you next week. Bye, guys. Ciao.